Hey guys, it's me. Today I wanted to do a different type of video. Not really a different type of video, but just I wanted to do a video since it's been almost a year since the release of Sparking Zero. It'd be a few more days now, depending on what version you got. If you pre-ordered and got the early access like I did, it might be a few days earlier than everybody else. But I felt after the trailer that came out today, I don't know if you guys seen, but there's a trailer for the first anniversary of Sparking Zero. It was like a teaser trailer. I feel like after that, and also after the most recent DLC and the legendary Warrior Face-Off update, I feel like this would be a good time to just reflect on the game and then also just my feelings and thoughts about the game a year later. So, of course, right, like when the game was about to come out, there was a lot of hype behind it. I was unbelievably hyped. I've been hyped. I was hyped ever since the first trailer, since they announced a sequel to Tenkaichi. I mean, I don't really need to tell you guys this, but Tenkaichi, especially Tenkaichi 3, has a very hardcore, faithful following. I mean, I'm one of those people as well. I mean, I personally, I made a decision for myself when Sparking Zero was coming out, or after it came out, that I would not play the Tenkaichi game, the older Tenkaichi games, for a long time, just so I can, get myself familiar with this new Tenkaichi. And then after some time would pass, I would like to, go back and play it and see, if my opinions of those games have changed as a result of this sequel to the series that we all love. And then even before that, like, I was always playing Tenkaichi 3 or popping in Tenkaichi Tag Team. There are videos on my channel about Tenkaichi Tag Team like 15 years ago. So I've never like died down from the Tenkaichi scene. I've, always been playing them. So of course, when they announced a new one, I was so happy. And to be honest with you, right, like right before it came out, my assumption was either it was going to be the GOAT or the Baby Goat, like second greatest of all time. And to me, I still feel like Sparking Zero is the second greatest Dragon Ball game of all time. A lot of people do like their tier lists, or kind of like, I think the other day Go Rhymestyle and some of his guys, they did like a tier list of what they would rather play. And I thought that was a very good way to quantify whether you rank something higher than the other. Would I rather play Sparking Zero or play, I don't know, Xenoverse 2? I would rather play Sparking Zero. Would I rather play Sparking Zero or even something as goated as Budokai 3? Yes, I would rather play Sparking Zero. The only game that I would rank higher than Sparking Zero for a number of different reasons is still Tenkaichi 3. I would rank Sparking Zero still number 2, and even behind it, it has a chance still to become greater than Tenkaichi 3. Some other YouTubers have touched on this, but there's a couple things in Sparking Zero, especially when the game first came out. Now, I will say that they've improved some of the mechanics of the gameplay a great deal more than how it was when it first came out. When it first came out, the game was unfinished. The game was broken, especially if we're talking about Super Counter or even Super Perception. Super Perception, they nerfed it a little bit too much, where now it's like you can barely ever use it. It's not very optimal anymore. And of course, super counters, right? Super counters, to me, right, I actually like how super counters are now. The timing of it is fair. It's not something that you could just mash. It is something that you have to time, and you can't just spam it, because there is a cooldown with the frames. But when the game first came out, the community did misuse it. It was something that needed to be fixed, and they fixed it. And that's another thing, right? Like, a lot of people say that Sparking Zero takes too long to come out with content. And I really feel like a lot of people are just really impatient, because it's like, as soon as they do that, as soon as we say this, or we say Sparking Zero's dead, if it's dead, why are you still talking about it? Why are people still playing it? Secondly, as soon as we say that the game is dead, something gets released. Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm an expert on video games, but like, I feel like a lot of people just have sensory like overload. They're overstimulated, and as a result of that, they have very small attention spans. They expect every single game to come out and be a Xenoverse 2, where Xenoverse 2 is still to this day unnecessarily coming out with more and more content. Specifically, these last couple of DLCs, I've loved them. Specifically, this past DLC, DLC 3, I love DLC 3. And I do think there is a method to their madness. You know, of course, they've been coming out with strictly character packs, and this most recent pack, of course, comes out with the first Demon World, which is the most destructible stage in Sparking Zero. So it shows that they are listening to the fans, but the fans are being a little bit impatient, and maybe they are taking a little bit too long. But if they want the game to last, you know, especially compared to its predecessors, especially like modern day predecessors like Xenoverse 2. To me, before Sparking Zero, Xenoverse 2 was the second greatest Dragon Ball game of all time, and it has a very high standard of its longevity. So it's like any Dragon Ball game that comes after it has to match it or to be in the shadow of it, even if it's a different series. So in this case, Xenoverse 2 has lasted almost 10 years, especially if we're considering Xenoverse 1, it's been 10 years. Sparking Zero, you know that they want the game to last. They've already made their money, but they want it to last, and we want it to last, so of course they're going to take their time. So they just hinted at the trailer of them coming out with more content. So what am I saying? I think that these last couple of packs was them seeing what the fans want and then also giving characters and seeing what they can do, right? And letting the fans get hungry to the point of starving, where I think now we are going to start getting actually more expansions. So I think not just characters, this is my hope. And this is what I really do think is going to happen, because especially this most recent DLC kind of proved that to me, that they are listening. You know, they're going to make new stages. They're going to be more characters. But me personally, right, like, I hope that they kind of expand on the story mode, because the story mode was a little bit undercooked. And I think they know that, especially if you look at like a Piccolo story mode or Vegeta story mode. But I do think that they are going to expand. A year later, I still love the game. I still try to play the game every single day, or at least every other day or every couple of days. I still have like those magical feelings that I had when the game first came out, but those first 2 weeks of Sparking Zero were untouched. As an adult Dragon Ball fan, the only thing I can compare to was maybe when Xenoverse 2 first came out, or especially when Tenkaichi 3 came out. My experience with Sparking Zero is still great. I still love the game. I still tune into the game. I play it more than any of the other Dragon Ball games. I still play the other Dragon Ball games, but this is, like, to me, the closest thing we've gotten to a Dragon Ball simulator. Even more so than Tenkaichi 3. Now, that's to its detriment. There are some things about Sparking Zero that frustrate me, like, you know, technically, you can make long combos, and you guys seen it on my YouTube, but most of those combos are not optimal. Whether it be because of all the 7 different defensive mechanics that the game has, or it's just strictly because of online connection or something like that. But honestly, I still love Sparking Zero. I still support the game. I still log in to get my login bonuses. I buy the content, and I hope that a lot of people still support it, because it's a great game. You know, the only thing that you can really say about the game is that it was a little bit undercooked. It has less content than the average PS2 era Dragon Ball game, and of course, obviously, than Xenoverse 2. Xenoverse 2 has the most content ever. So I'm hoping that in order to increase the longevity of the game, they bring like a Mission 100 mode. I loved Mission 100 in Tenkaichi 3. I love survival modes in these Dragon Ball games. Some of my favorite survival modes ever are in Tenkaichi 3, Super Dragon Ball Z. I think they just need to add some story expansion. Doesn't need to be the most story expansion. A couple of the missing characters. And maybe 1 or 2 modes. Legendary Warrior Face-Off, I think, has improved. At first, I wasn't a fan of it. I thought it was like very akin to Xenoverse 2's raid bosses, where instead of making the computer good, they just gave them cheap armor and cheap stats. But this most recent one actually gives you a reason to play. With Frieza, they actually entice you to do longer combos as opposed to spam. And as a result of that, you get like stat boosts. And I think that's great. I think that's a great little variety. I hope they do keep Legendary Warrior Face-Off every single month, but I hope they add another mode, like a survival mode or a mission type of mode, because that's what most of this fan base, which is still, honestly, the people that are still playing this are Tenkaichi fans or OG Tenkaichi fans. I think we're used to those kind of modes ever since Tenkaichi 1. You go back, they have a Mission 50 or whatever, Mission 100. So overall, I don't want to rant too much, but I do think that Sparking Zero is in a good place, especially after the trailer that came out today. I probably wouldn't have said that a month or so ago before the DLC released. I would have said maybe, you know, Sparking Zero's been quiet, but I think they're doing it for a reason. I think people just need to be more patient. I still love Sparking Zero, as I stated, second greatest Dragon Ball game of all time to me, and it still has time to become the GOAT. I think if they tweak a couple things, add some more stuff, I could one day wake up and say, yeah, this might be better than Tenkaichi 3. But that day hasn't come yet. But I am very hopeful and positive and optimistic about this game. I want to keep supporting it. And I hope everybody else keeps supporting it instead of just trashing on it, because it's the cool thing to do. So you guys tell me what you think. You know, what are your memories so far with Sparking Zero a year later? I know I still have a lot of great memories. I think the only sour memories I had were the gameplay flaws the first month that the game came out. But after that December patch, my opinion on online improved. So yeah, you guys tell me your thoughts, and even tell me like how you felt when the game first came out, because that was a magical moment for me. I've captured that moment on my YouTube channel with the unboxing. So yeah, you guys tell me what you think. I hope, you know, long live Sparking Zero. I hope it gets a couple more years of support. I hope we get, you know, Super 17 or Pikkon, a couple of stages, some OG Dragon Ball characters like Demon King Piccolo. And I hope this game keeps getting supported and keeps thriving, because we don't need a sequel. This game just needs to cook a little bit longer. So those are my thoughts in synopsis, in summary. You guys tell me what you think in the comments below. Peace.